happen in coming weekends. We will keep it. So we will keep the other session links also posted to you in email. So let's begin with the Learn to Code session 1. Today we have Shehan Pereira, Senior Software Engineer of Zenith Mobile, presenting to us. So Shehan, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mudara, and very good morning to all. So, as Mudara mentioned, this is the first TADHack Teens learning session for the 22. And as you know, this TADHack, we had 8th round in this year, and we having the teens round in second time. So, as Mudara mentioned, so I am Shehan Pereira from Zenith Mobile, and I am currently working as a senior software engineer in QA. So today we are going to learn about the very basics of HTML. So that means like we are starting from the beginning and we are going forward. So we plan this to actually for the children. So if you are an expert, it will be not for you. So just keep that on also mind. And we are going to, we are trying to do the practice like a hands-on session while we are going through. So that we may need Notepad++ or any Windows Notepad. So if you don't have that things, please try to install that while we are going through the session. And or Chrome or any Internet Explorer also it will be possible. So I think we can start our session now. Okay. So let's go ahead and first identify what is a web page. So as you all know, from the book, we are getting all the data contained, all the details contained in the book page of the book. So like that, from the internet or the World Wide Web, we are getting the details, or we are viewing the details from the through the web page. So I hope you can you maybe going through the multiple and different web pages. So as example, the Wikipedia page which I shown here, and then I can say as example Facebook web page, then YouTube web page. Even like some schools have their own web pages showing that the details of that school. Then even like you may join or you may seen about this TADHack from web pages. So we every day-to-day life, if we are using the internet and we are going through the web browsers, so we will see the web pages. So today we are going to see how this will be these web pages are created, and we are planning to do a small session on like how to create a sample web page. So first before go to the create web page, let's identify what are the paths we can see in a web page. Okay, so mainly if we are starting from the beginning, so we can see a title. So we call this place is a title, and we put here what are the actually the web page content or web page name. Then we have the headline, so that is the heading part of our content of the web page. So after that, this white background we call as a body. Then we can have anything like multiple things in here. So we can add different paragraphs. We can add tables. So I will show other example. So in here I have the two examples. So in here we can see this in this page the tag head Sri Lanka 2022 is the title, and the TADHack heading. Then we can see the images. We can see different colors of text. If we consider this page, Wikipedia page, its title is Sri Lanka Wikipedia, and we have the heading in here, and we can see images in here. Then also we can see the paragraphs, multiple paragraphs, and we can see bold text, links, many more things. So we can put multiple things as we doing for the image page of the books. We can put anything into our body, that meaning about to our web page. So how these web pages is created. So mainly we are using HTML to create this web page. So now let's see about HTML. So HTML standard for hypertext markup language. So that's the meaning of the HTML. So actually what HTML will do is HTML will describe the structure of web page. So it will be clearly mentioned what are the things we are going to show in our web page. So it's have multiple series, as I mentioned. We can have lists, tables, images, and many more. So then the next thing is how we will save our HTML page. So it will be HTML. HTML. So okay. So and other than that, so to make our web page beautiful, so we using CSS and JavaScript. So we'll also look into the CSS and JavaScript also in our future slides. Okay. So now let's see how web page is described using HTML. So in here, uh, you can see how we can describe a web page. So we call this as a tags. So in here we starting the HTML page. So we defining our HTML page is starter. So this is the starter HTML tag and this is the closing HTML tag. Then we have heading. So we have a heading. So we have to mention this part, these lines and things. So we are mentioning this heading, and we are also closing the heading in here. And we can, as I mentioned, this title. So title in here we are mentioning under this title tags. Then we after the heading, after the head part, we mentioning our body of the page. So in body we can add paragraph, we can bold it, and we can put the list. So everything under that content of the page will put between this body places, body between this body starting and the closing tags. Okay. So now I think we can start to create a HTML file. So I will show how we can create a HTML file. So in here, I am going to use Windows. And so if you go to start, you can see Notepad plus. You can search Notepad plus Notepad in here. You can use Notepad even, or we can use Notepad plus plus. So today I'm going with the Notepad plus plus. So let's click on that. So hope you guys also now you guys can start this one if you are like to do the practice while we are doing the session. So let's click on this new. Then you will see the new two tab appears in here. So I'm going to save it. So you can go to the file, then let's put as save as. Then in here I am selecting my desktop and I put file name as my web page. Then in here you can see save as type. So in here we have to choose hypertext markup language, otherwise HTML, as I mentioned. So we are saving this as a .html file. So then I click it. So now you can see my web page .html file name is appear as that. So I will save it. Okay, now your name also appeared in here. Now let's minimize this, and in our desktop you can see this web page with the Firefox or any browser of you having. So we can right click it and we can go to the open with, and we can you can use anything like any browser, Firefox, Google. Open this with the Firefox. Okay, so our page is open. So we are going to start with the basic HTML tags. So I will first explain these things, and then we'll move to the our document and like HTML file, and we'll do the changes in there. So as I mentioned, the HTML using to start our HTML page. Then we use title to define our title. Then this H1 we are using for the heading, and HR for the we can to make a horizontal line. Then we can use this body. So let's try these things now. Okay, so now I'm going to my Notepad++, and I am putting starting tag in HTML. So this how we can start our HTML page, and I will put like several enters, and I'm closing that tag. Okay, so this is the area which we are going to define our. So this is the area we define as our page. So now I'm save it, and let's first create the head area. Okay, so I started it and I close it. So while you're doing, you try to start when you start the tag, also mentioning the endpoint at the bottom, and it will be not forget when you are doing the coding. So then in here, the first thing we have to do is, so we have to mention about our title. So first I will go to the slide. So you can, in here you can see something like this. So the path will be seen here, but when I show the images of the web page, you see a proper title. So a proper title in here. So let's do this. So let's have a title in here. I put title tag and start it, and let's close that. Okay, in here I am going to put my name. So you can also put your name in here, and I use Control+S to save it. So you can even go to here and file save, or if you put you can see that this save icon also in here, so you can use that. Now I'm going to my web page, which open in here, and if I do a refresh, so you can see my name appeared in here as a title. So that's how we can make our title to appear in our web page. Okay, now let's work on to add a heading. So we need a heading. So after the title, I will put this is my web page, and I will click on save. I will click on save here, and I will go to my browser, and I will do a refresh. So now you can see there's a text is appeared, but it's not seen like a heading. So for that we can use H1 tags. So I will now going to do a starter. So I put this down here, and then I will close that H1 tag. So now you can save this, and let's go to the page and we'll do a refresh. So now you can see it's came bigger. So this H1 it's working as a font type. So if we put like, now you can see this is the level 1 head, so that's why we meaning as a H1. So if we copy this, I will put 2 copies, and I will change this, the second one tag name, into the H2, and it will be close also changing as H2, and I will put this text as H2. Then the third one I'm going to change it to the H3, and the closing tag also I will mark as H3, and in the text I will put as H3. Now I'm going to save it, and let's go to our page and we'll do a refresh. Okay, now you can see when that so H1 having the biggest bigger size, and when you use in the H2 it's becoming small, and then we use in the H3 it's becoming again too small. So that's how this H1 level are working. So I will going to remove this. I will save it and we'll go to the page and see. Okay, now we have our heading in our web page. Okay, now I'm going to put our body. So after this head, finishing the head, we are starting our body. So we are starting body with using body tag. As I mentioned, when you start the tag, please close that one. Okay, now I will put content in here. This is my web page body. Okay, now let's go to the page and we'll do a refresh. Okay, now we have another text, so we call this as a body, but you can see like this is there is no difference in here. So I would like to have add a horizontal line. So in that we can use this calling HR tag. This means stands for horizontal line. We put under the header. So I will save this and I'm going to the my page. Yeah. So now you can see there is a horizontal line added. So now we can clearly see a between a line from our head and the body part. Like it will be a differ the heading and the body. So it will be easy to see. Okay. So then okay. So then I will go to see another tag. So currently we are did until here. So now let's try different text related tags.
Shahan, before that, if there are any questions, shall we give some time for them?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, if there are any questions, please raise. And y'all can try while we do this, y'all can try. And if there are any questions, please interrupt and ask. You can put questions in the chat box also. Okay, Shahan, we'll go ahead. Okay, there is a question from Mazin. How to put the border?
Okay, for that we'll go ahead like and we'll discuss it later. So we have that also.
Okay, we'll cover it later. No, so Mazin will cover it later in the same session.
So any other questions?
Excuse me, I have a question.
Okay.
Why is the horizontal line tag? I mean, it's different from other tags. Like the slash line is after the R.
Yeah, it's due to like we can close that since for the horizontal line we are not putting like in here. We put a content in the between. So that's why we have to mention the gap in here. We are not using that. There is no need to put some starting and the closing is we mention in the same tag. That's why we use that. So there are the breaking line. There is another thing called a breaking line. So that's also will do the same. I will show in the next slides.
Thank you.
Shahan, shall we copy this code and put in the chat? Then if someone needs, they can start by from this place.
Okay, let's see. Okay, give a minute.
You all can actually copy paste the code which Shahan shares and start like if anyone has missed the first parts of it.
Okay, I think you receive it.
Yes, yes. So if anyone has missed up to this part, so Shahan has put the code on the chat. You can actually start from there. You can copy paste into Notepad or Notepad++ and start it from there. Okay, we'll go ahead, Shahan.
Okay. Let me share the screen again. Okay. So, okay, now let's play with our body related text. Okay. Okay. So in here, let's put another. We'll put an enter, and let's make a hello. Hello. Let's put something like this, and we'll save it, and we'll check what will be happen. So if I go here and I do a refresh, now you can see even we put a enters in here, what happened? It's came in the same line. So then for that we can use this break line tag. So we use tag called line breaker. So this we mention as a line breaker. So in here, if you put and let's go and do a refresh. So now you can see the line is break. And if you need to do a same in here, we can put br tag and can save it, and we can do a refresh. Okay, the same things, the same concept we told in here appears in here. Since there is no content between the thing, I will put a br tag. Now I'm going to tell you about how we can make a text into the bold. So I will put the text first. This is a bold text. Okay. Now let's make a for bold text we using B. This bold tag. We call this as bold tag. So we can start it and we can stop it in here. So now I will save it, and I'm going here and do a refresh. Now you can see what we can appear in here. It's bold. So since now it seems to be the same, in the same, it's very close to the text. So I will put another BR in here. So let's see what happens. Okay. You can see now two lines breakers are appearing here. So that's how if you need to make some like visible in our text, we can use multiple BR tags or breaking line tags. Okay. Now, as this, we can use underline, and we can use the italic tag for text, do a text change. So I'm going to first do an underline text. So I put the starting and the closing in here, and now I'm putting a content like this is underlined text. Okay, I save it, and let's go to the web page and do a refresh. Okay, now you can see this line is underlined, but unfortunately we forget to add a BR. So I will copy this double BR in here and we'll put into the here. Then, and when I do a refresh, so you can see clearly the underlined text appear. So let's do the same for under here, and now I'm going to show how we can italic cover text. So we use that for that this italic tab starting from I. So in here I'm going to mention this is italic text. Now you can save it. Then if we do a refresh, now you can see it appears in italic. Okay, now in these all cases we did only we add a one tag for each text. let's add this all the three into the one line. So I will put another BR in here, and let's start. So first let's bold it. So I'm starting bold tag, then I'm closing that. In here I will put some spaces to clear identify, then I will put start the underline tag using u. Then we have to close that also. Okay, now after the now we are going to italic our text in here. It will be yes, put I, and let's close that also. Now let's put our, I will put a enter, then let's put here, this is bold, bolded, underlined, and italic text. Okay. And I'm saving it, and let's go to here and do a refresh. Now you can see the all the previous text can be used in the for the same text also. Okay, let's try okay, let's try more things in the text related thing. So I will put another BR in here. So we can use tag called big to increase our font size, like to show a bigger letter. So I'm using this. This is big text and put a. Okay, now let's go to our page and do a refresh. Now you can see it's something bigger than the other text. So same as that, we can use the small tag. We have a small tag. So then I will put a small and okay. Now we'll put as a okay. Now let's do a refresh. Okay, now you can see it's became small. So we can see the big text in here, and we can see the small text in here. Okay, so any questions regarding this? Or any? Okay, seems to be no. So we'll move ahead. So let's now we mention in here different type of text and how we can change the text. So now we are going to learn about the paragraph, how to mention a paragraph. So in that, for that we using the paragraph text. So we can put as a P, and we'll put a closing P. Now I will show we can this put paragraph. Okay, and I will save it, and let's go to the website and see. Now it's appeared, but you can see there is no such a difference between what happened. Like it's also like seems like a text, but what we can do, let's like what happened if we in here we have to use this BR section to separate the our lines. But now if I put a P in here, and then I'm mentioning another paragraph. Now let's put second. This is my I will put as this is my second paragraph, and I save it, and then I will move to in here and I will do a refresh. Okay, now you can see even without that break lines, it appears a proper spaces, since these are the this considering it from the HTML as a two paragraphs. That's why it's clearly have a difference. But if we write enter in here, this is second line. Let's see what happened. So it will be work as the normal paragraph. Like inside the paragraph, it will be this text working as the normal text. So for that, we have to use to do a break. We have to use this line break. let's do a refresh. Okay, now you can see it's appear. So I will put another paragraph. I will copy this and put another paragraph. So you can also do the same because it will be useful for the next things. Okay, now let's go to here and do a refresh. Now we have 3 paragraph in here. Okay, now I am going to show how we can add a listing here. So there are 2 type of list in HTML we can use. One is called unlisted list, and we have a ordered list also. Then, so now first of all, I'm going to show how we can add an unlisted list. So in here we use UL tag. So we'll use UL tag in here, and we'll close that. Okay, so this is the mention in the starting of the unlist and unordered list, and the closing of the unordered list. So in here, how we in the list we have to mention line by line or each list. So for that we use it li tag. So this is for put a item. So I will put item 1 and close that row. Okay, and let's put another one. Item 2, and I will close that one. Okay, now let's go to the page and do a refresh. So now you can see this list is appeared. So we can copy these and let's change the content in here. So as item 3.
And there is a small request.
Okay. Yeah.
So Himesha is requesting this code to be paste, like whatever we tried up to now on the chat box. Can you paste?
Yeah. Okay. I will do a paste. Okay. So first we do the refresh in here. So you can see now the newer added items also appeared in here. Okay. Give a minute now. I will do a share code. Okay. All the file in here. Will it be visible? Okay, let's see. Okay, so I think Gayat asking why we are not closing BR. So BR is like so in the BR is for the line break. So as I mentioned previously, so let me share the screen first. Mundar, hope we can see the screen.
Yes, can see.
Okay, so in here, like there is no content between the this tag. So in each tag, each of these have the like if you consider paragraph, there is a content between the paragraph. That's why we have the starting and closing. Like in here, we don't in the after the break there is a no content. So that's why we use this starting and the closing. Like this is the same concept like a closing. That's why we put in the backslash in the end. So for the B, but we use for the each B, like the bolding thing, we use this stopping tag. I think it's clear. Okay.
If you all have any questions, please raise.
You can raise it. Okay. Hope now. So this is how we can do a unordered list. Now we are going to use a ordered list. So in here we use UL. So now for ordered list, guess what? So we're using OL to make to start and end the our ordered list. So now so only the change will be happen between this tag. So if I copy the things in here and do a save and I will do a refresh. So now you can see these appeared in ordered way. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. In here we have this, but the only change happen is this, the line, the tags in here. So that means we can use the content in this li tag to for unordered list or even for the ordered list. So in here I will do some extra thing like so we can mention the attributes like so attribute will be work as a, so let's take a mango. So for the mango have the different taste and different colors. So likewise even we get a grape, so the grapes have different color and different taste. So likewise each of we can mention some attributes. So the taste is an attribute of the mango, and different attributes we can use. So in here we use the type, and we can use as circle, and we put a save, and let's see what will be happen. So now you can see last time it's the colored disk in here, but now we can see the circle in here. So there are different type of different type we can use in the type. So we can use square, disk, and cycle. So disk is the default one. So I will put it here and show you. Okay, is the default one. So we can use other types also. In the same as the order list, we can use type as let's put I and put a save and do a refresh. Let's see what happened. Now you can see it's simple icon, simple numbers are appeared in here. So it also have we can even like normally it's come with a 1, starting with the 1, but we can put even alphabet also, and we'll do now you can see A, B, C, D is appeared as a number except the numbers. Okay, that's how we can use a list. So any question about that? Okay, I hope it's fine. Okay, now let's move to the about adding a table. So okay, for a table we using the table tag. So let's start a table tag first, and we'll close that. Okay, so this is our table area. Now for table we need to have a header, so like header rows. So for that, so we have the rows and columns. So first we have to mention a tr, that meaning the table row. So we are starting a table row and closing it. So this is standard for this is the first row of the table. In here we can mention the table heading. So for that I use th stand for the table heading. So I will put let's put a ID. Okay, and let's close that tag, and let's put another column in here, name, and I will close that also. Now we are mentioned our header, but now let's put a data into our table. So for that we need another row, the new row, and I will close that one. And then I will mention now here we mentioned the th because for the table head now we are for this is will be the table data, so we mentioning is the as a table data, so that's standard for td. So in here I will put id as 1. I will close that column. Then the next row, next column will be name, so we'll put as a summer. Okay. Okay, now I will save it and let's go to our page and see what happened. Okay, now you can see it's there is a data appears, but yes.
And Himesha is asking a question. She's asking how to change the text size in coding section in the big text. This is big text. She's asking.
Okay, I will show that tag also, like we use the big tag in there. I will mention in here, so we use big, the tag called big. I will show that also. Give a minute. Okay, so okay, so in for the answering that concern, so we use this big tag to mention that the big text, so same as the small. I got I hope you got the answer. Okay, so we were in the table. So any questions before we go for this?
There's another question, Shehan from Yasiru. He's asking what's your ID name. Yasiru, if you can clarify what it is, I think Shehan will be able to answer. I think Shehan, you can.
Yeah, okay, we'll go ahead.
Yeah, yes, I think Yasiru can raise that question. Yeah, like it's not clear enough. Yasiru, can you raise that question again? You'll go ahead. Once you put the question, we'll answer.
Okay, let's go. So in here now, so you can see the table appeared, but it's not properly mentioned. So for that, let's add a border into here. So as we did as a, in here as a type, so we can add border tag like this, and I will
And your
save
screen
it.
is not shared.
Okay. sorry. So can you see now?
Yeah, can see.
Okay, fine. So I do the changes here. So previously it was as this. So I will do it in here. So you can see the table is appeared, but it don't have a proper border. So for that, let's add a border in here. So in this tag, inside this tag, as I mentioned, the attribute. So we can put a border in here and save it. Now let's go and refresh. Now you can see a border appeared. So that's how we can add a border into our table. So let's add another row. So I'm going to copy this row totally, the second row with the table data, and copy it. And now I'm going to change it. The ID is to 2, and let's put this name into the custom. Okay, we'll save it and let's do a refresh. Now you can see that our table is have another row. Okay, so that's how we can do a insert a table. Okay, now I'm going to create some so as you know, like we in the web pages we have forms. So I'm going to create a small form for that. So for that we using the form tag, and we'll close that form tag. And here we can put this first. Let's try to make a input field as a name. So for that we use input, and input in here we have to mention the type. So we have different type of inputs like a password, text, even we can use a button also as an input. So I put in the type here as a text. Then what we can do is we have to mention like a name to let's put a, I will close this in here, then I will put this as a name. Okay, so now we do go to the fresh page and refresh. Now you can see this appeared in here. Okay, I will so things what happened, I wrongly put this form into the table content. So we'll close this, cut this and paste it up here. Now we'll do a refresh. Okay, now you can see it's appeared after the table. So here we have a input. Now let's try another input, and also we'll put a BR4 in here to clearly see. Okay, now okay, before that we'll do a refresh. So if I type something in here, you can see it. So it's because it's a text area. So there is another type called password. So in here, if I put a, let's put a name this as a password, and I will put another BR in here also. I'll just put enter and put that one. Okay, and I will change this text type into password. Now I will go save it and go to the page and do a refresh. Okay, now if I click on here, so you can, that's text is not visible. That's because of we use the text, the type as a password. That is the difference. So let's try the button input also. Okay, for that can use input as like what we call type. And I will close this. if we do refresh in here, you can see there is something appeared in here, seems like a button, but it's not visible. So for that, I will put a we are in here. Let's put in here. We can put a there is a like a attribute called value. We can use for button. So then I put as a click. Okay, let's do it. So now it doesn't appear. So why? So the value, and so then we have to set a name as a okay, and we'll do a refresh. Okay, so I think give a minute.
So is it because the value spellings are wrong?
Uh, let's check. Okay, I think yes. Yeah, true. So now you see that the value name has appeared in here. Okay, so that's how we can create a small form. So okay, so this for regarding the anyone have any concerns to or any questions? Okay, so if not, so I'm moving to the, since also time also passed, so I'm moving to the CSS. So the CSS actually used for the make our web page style. So the current our web page only have the white colors and white and black only. So we use CSS for the make our web page more stylish and more colorful. So actually CSS standing for custom style sheet, and we can use within the HTML page. So today we are going for that, but we can also use like external HTML files. As we saved that HTML using the .html, we use CSS to like .css to save our external sheet file. So first let's see some styles in our HTML page. Yes.
Yeah, Shahan, before we move to CSS,
Yes,
there is a like question. It's actually a request to may copy paste the last code snippet.
Okay.
From the form tag, starting from the form tag.
Okay, give a minute, I will copy that. Okay, I think we can move ahead. Anyone have another? Mudar, are we sending this recording to the Gmail, or we are publishing this into the YouTube?
We are publishing it to the YouTube, and then we will be sending the link to their emails.
Oh, okay, good. Okay then. So we'll move ahead. Okay. Share the screen back. Okay, now let's go for the basic style. So in here, so we can use in the heading. In the head, normally in the head we are marking this style. So before finish the head, we can start this style tag and close that style tag. So in between this, we are going to make our style, every style in here. So the first thing I'm going to do, let's try to change this. Like we'll add a background color to this heading. So for that, here we use this h1 tag. So in here, let's put h1 and start curly brackets in here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mention like a background color. So I will put background. So you can type background and then let's put orange. Let's try to save it and do a refresh. Okay, now you can see the background appears. So actual background appears for this h1 tag. I will copy this one and put change this one to h2 and let's see what happens. And I save it. So you can see the h2 is appeared, but it's not there is no background to that one. So because that we only mentioned this color into our h1 tag. So I will do a remove this part. Then if I do like let's color this body with a light background. Okay, for that we can, since we start with the body tag, so we can use the body, then start and stop curly brackets. Then in here, let's put background, and we are calling this as attributes, as I mentioned. So we'll put a light blue. Okay, I save it and let's do a refresh. Now you can see this whole background change into the light blue color. Okay, so that's how we normally using this background. We can use this background color changes. So in here, let's do some other changes also. Okay, let's try to increase this h1 size to a little bit more. For that, we can use font size. So in here, I put the attribute called font size, and let's put 60 pixel. Okay, I save it and let's go to our page and do a refresh. So now you can see it's become more its size increased than the previous one. So that's how we can change the size. And let's do some changes to others also. For that, before that, since we have here 3 paragraphs, we mentioned 3 paragraphs in here. So I will going to introduce this style for that paragraphs. So I will put a background as, let's put green. Okay, if now I do a refresh, see currently this paragraph don't have a color. Now if I do a refresh, now you can see, because we have 3 paragraphs, this and we mentioned that paragraph style for like commonly, then we have I hope you get it, like it will be working as a comment. So since we put this mark this PS we initialize this style for our paragraph tag. So now let's put a border style in here. Style. Okay, so in border style we can use solid border, dotted border, dash border. So first I will put a solid border and let's try do a refresh. So now you can see a border appeared in here. Okay, so it's also appeared to the our 3 paragraph. Okay, now so we'll do this as like can put a dash. We'll put dash and see. So what happened? The border style changed to the dash. Okay, even we can change the border color also. Let's try another color for the border. I will put red. So now you can see the border color from black change it to the red. So that's how we can mention the different styles. So we can have like a font, we can change the font color. Let's try a color called yellow. Yes, put the refresh. Now you can see this color change to the yellow. And likewise, we can use different styles. So now what happens is if we are mentioning this into the paragraph tag, it will be appeared for the whole paragraph. Now assume that you need like one paragraph. The first paragraph need to be as this, and the second paragraph need to be in a different type. So for that, so I will copy this. So and I will paste in here. So now I'm going to initialize like a new name to our like tag name. So this is called a class name. So I put as a without that paragraph tag. Now we are initializing this style to class called P1. Okay, and let's do a copy in here, the same thing, and I will put as a P2. Now let's change this color. So we'll put a background color for this as a, we'll put a red in here, and this one make to solid, and border color, let's make border color into a like blue, and font color will keep as same. Okay, now let's go to the page and do a refresh. So now is again our paragraph came to normal one because we are not mentioning anything in there, like we are not mentioning the style for our paragraph. Then how we let's do this P1, let's add this P1 style for our first paragraph. For that, in this our first paragraph, this is the first paragraph, so I'm mentioning the class. So class, and we put that name P1 in here. Now I do it refreshing here. Now you can see it's only appeared to the first paragraph only. So if you want add this P2 changes for our second paragraph, what we have to do is we can use class, and we'll name it as a P2. Okay, now let's go to and refresh. Okay, now you can see we have the different like different different classes we can, or different style we can use for different paragraph. Likewise, we can use even it for the any element. If let's put into the here class. Now you can see even for the list we can use that. Okay, so last time it's only usable for like if you use P, then it will be only usable for the paragraph, but now we can use that class for any item. So that's how we can use basic CSS for styling. So before go ahead, anyone have any other concern, any issues or anything to
Shahan, there is another request. asking to like share the code again. What we'll do is at the end of the session, we share that the whole code snippet on the.
I think that will be better. Huh?
That's better, no? Yeah. Okay, we'll do like that.
Okay, so anyone have any other thing, concerns or anything? Okay. So since time also a little bit past, I will move fast now. Share my screen. Now we are going to create a box using our CSS. So I will add let's try to add a box using our use the tag called dev. After this form, here I'm starting and closing. Okay, so now I will mention in the CS this style. Between the style, I will put this div tag in here, and let's put a box. So I can use width as 50px and height as 50 pixel. So let's see what happens. I will save this and let's go to the tab and do a refresh. Okay, so we can't see anything in here because we don't mention a color. So here let's put a background as a green. Let's put a green. Okay, save it and do a refresh. Now you can see a box appeared in here with the sizes. These sizes, if we put is like a with 200, let's see what happened. So you can see with this decrease. So this how we can use a dev element. So actually we can use to mention in this dev session. We can even put the text also. So this is a kind of thing similar to but when like the most of professional developers are using this dev sessions for it's a multiple locations, as we did for the T2 class. We can use it for the paragraph, even we can use it for the list. So now I am going to do a small change in here. So from div, if it hover, we'll do some changing here. So I will put, so now its color is green. So I need to change this color, background color into red, and let's put this also 50. Okay. So now what happened is, if you hover mouse, you can see the color change. So likewise, we can use CSS to do like more attractive thing. Like if we can do, it will be the button color will be changed if you using something like that. So button, we can change the button color, and likewise we can do many things. So and I will use then. So there is a attribute called transitions, that which we can use for like do some changes in our elements. So like let's first do, okay, now we have a width. So I am going, I will show another change. So now we have 50. I'm changed to the 700 pixel our width. So let's see what happened. Okay, so let's see what happened. When I hover, last time it's become a red, now it's becoming a red, and the width also increase, but it's immediately increase. So for that, we use the tag called attribute called transition to make this transition like smoothly. So if we put width and 2 seconds, that meaning this width change will be happen within the 2 seconds. Okay, so I will save it and go to the tab and do a restart. Say, it is spellings. Okay. So now you can see it's slowly growing. Okay, slowly growing and slowly growing back. So that's we can use transition. Even we like put a, now we put a 4 seconds. So if we put a, sorry, 2 seconds. Now if we put a 4 second, you can see it will be go slowly than that. Okay. So that's we can use to a transition. We can use to smooth changes of our web page. And we have another attribute called transform. So that we can use for change our elements for different transformation. So I will okay, now let's remove this increasing part, and I will use this transform in under hover. So if we transform like keep mouse hover in there, the size need to be scale up for 2. So let's see what happens. So now you can see this is scaled up. So the size increased to double. If you put a like 0.5, that is like stand for half. So let's see what happened. So the size decrease. So we can like for transform, we can do many things. We can like scale up things. We can rotate things. Let's try a rotate. So we have to mention in the degree of the rotation. Okay. Now you can see this rotate. Okay. So like so this will be the things we can going for today with the CSS. So like you can try many things, but like CSS will be help to make you like see a web page more attractive, more like smoothie and more colorful. Likewise. So anyone have any concerns or anything? So go ahead. Okay. Okay, I think
Have any questions you can raise now.
Yeah.
Meantime, Shan, shall we put the code snippet also on the chat?
Okay. So I will put the style. I think we have to put the whole code back. Okay. Anyway, I will put that one also. Let's see.
Okay, there is a question, Shehan. Can you show the transformation part?
Okay. First, I will share the.
Yeah, let's share the code then.
Okay. Okay, I put there is another question how to add image. I will do that also. I think I missed it. Okay, first we'll go for the transform part. Okay. 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 Let's go for the style. Okay, in here. So this is like under the hover, we mentioned this transform. So then what happens is when we hover that element, it will be changed. It will be transformed. This div element will be transformed. So we use this rotate for that with the 20 degree, and so what will be happen is like if you hover it, that will be rotated. So even we can increase the degree also. Let's put some 50 kind of thing. to see. Now you can rotate more. So, and I will show how that scale also work. So we can use scale to increase the size or decrease size. Okay, so it will be, now it's increasing the size. If we since if increasing by 2, so if we put a half, what happening, it will be a decrease. Okay, so image adding, so let's do that part also before go for the okay. So for that, adding the image, we using the image tag. So let's add the image in here. So you can put this image tag, then we have to mention the where is our image is. So in for that we have to use this attribute called src, and since as that br and other things, since there is nothing in the image, so we close that one here. Now you have to mention your path. So now since this is saved in my desktop, so I have this th image in here, so I will use that name. So you can check the properties also. So it's a th1.png. So let's add that one. Okay, I save it. Let's go to the browser and see. Okay, now you can see it's appeared in here. That's how we can add the image. But you have to clearly mention the path. So better to have that in the same folder, same location which you have this HTML page. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So shall we move to the next part also?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's go for the JavaScript. So actually, like the CSS we use for the stylish, do some styles in our web page. But for the JavaScript, like scripts we are using to like get the data or do something, and likewise do some function in our web page. So previously, actually, we use this VB script and the JavaScript, but nowadays most of the developers using JavaScript, and it's becoming more famous. So actually, so script is a small function that we can do some do some piece of active, like a function, do a calculation or do a change or something like that. So we use this function. So today we are going to do a small alert pop up while we are doing a click event. So I will show how we can do that one. So for that we need to like as we use the style in our heading session, we will use this script tag to do that. So let's move to our page in here in the head part. So we'll start this script, okay, script tag, and we'll have to close that script tag. So in here we mentioning all our function. Okay, so for that, so let's add that like a function into our click button icon which we added. Okay, so okay. in here, first, like when someone click this button, what we so like on click, we use that like a on click, as we use in the div, it's a hover. So in here we use this on click. So if it's on clicked, so we'll call this hello function. Okay, so let's call a hello function. This is we call it as a function. So, and this is the function name. Okay, so now we are going to mention this, what this function will be doing our script area, like script between the script. So between this script space between the script. So okay, so for that we have to mention this subscription function. Then we have to put that name which we mentioned in the on click. So then we'll use the brackets, and then we mentioning the curly brackets in here. So in this we call as a function, and this is the function name. In this is the program we are going to run. So now I am going to put up a alert. Okay, so alert, and here we have to mention the what will be the alert will be say. So I will put the hello world. Okay, and let's try this out. Okay, I'll save it. And okay, now if I click here, okay, now you can see this appeared as a hello world. Okay, so like this is the consistent, like even we click multiple time, it will be appeared as a hello world. But let's do another change. Okay, so let's try to get something like your name. So in input, this name input in the form, let's put a ID. So it mention as a name. Okay. And so now I'm going to change this our script in here. So as like from this document, like from this document, get element ID, element by ID. So what is that ID we put in here? The name. Okay, the ID we use is name. So the ID. Then let's get that value. And now let's change our message. Hello to whom? Like we put a plus mark in here, and we have to mention this as a we calling this a initializing variable. So I'm putting this as a my name, and I will put that the same name in here. Okay, now I close this, save this one, and let's see what happened. Okay, so I will put as a Shehan, and let's try to click in here. Okay, I think I missed something. Let's check. A minute. Okay, let's try. I think I missed something. Let's try to get it done. We mentioned the function in here and the name. And we put the okay. Give a minute to figure it out what happened. Think until that you can raise any questions for anyway from any questions.
Anyone has any questions, you can raise. You can even put it into the chat box. Okay, so far good. So if anyone has missed the like the beginning of it, we will be anyway sending you we will be uploading the recording to the YouTube, and then we will send the link also to your email address so that you can cover it up. And if you all have any questions after going through the recording, you can sorry, you can send an email to the events@zenith.mobile email address, or you can actually send a WhatsApp message even. I think all of you have the TADHack number now, so you can actually raise it in the WhatsApp as well.
Okay. So it seems to be an ID issue. So I will show the output now. Okay, so let's like in here we can type let's type Shehan first. Okay. And I click in here, so you can see the pop-up will come as a Shehan. So if you put a Shehan 2, then if I click, so it will become as a Shehan 2. So likewise we can use the our like functions to get the user data input and do something from that also. So that's why we are like people are like developers are using the JavaScript to do the functions. From the HTML we can do some calculations normally. So we using these scripts for those things, like putting your name in username into this heading kind of thing. So that's why we are normally using the JavaScript. So that will be the end of the session. So anyone have any other things, any questions? So anyway, I will share this. We'll share this also with you, and so that's the plan things for today.
Anyone has any questions? So I will share the email address. So I think some of you missed the beginning of this session. So anyway, I'll be sending the recording for all of you. If you all can go through the recording also, and if you have any questions, you can raise to this email address, events@zenithmobile.com, and I will send you the number as well. You can reach us through this mobile number as well. Okay. So I hope you all learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the basics of it through this session. And like we are planning to have 2 other sessions as well in the future. So the event dates and the links will be shared to you to the same email address which you have registered with. So then I think, yeah, we can conclude it here. Thank you, Shehan, and thank you for all the participants as well. So if you all have any questions, keep in touch and raise it. We are happy to help you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.